Alright, dude! New Minecraft snapshot. This is exciting. It has been such a long time since I've had a chance to say those words. I think it's been almost a year actually since 1.8 was released. Somewhere in that ballpark, so it's been a while. This is 15W31A. It's the first snapshot released for 1.9, also going to be known as the combat update, and as per the name, you might be able to guess, there's a lot of stuff related to fighting. The end has been completely overhauled, and it's super awesome, and because there's so much stuff added, I'm going to split it into a few different videos. So we'll start off here in the overworld, and then in the next one we'll move into the end and check out all the awesome stuff that has to offer. So let's jump right into things. Because it is the combat update, why don't we go ahead and start off with combat-related things. So now, on top of regular arrows, we have a whole bunch of different types of arrows. All of these have different status effects from potions that you can apply to them. There are no crafting recipes at the moment. You have to fetch these out of Creative, but I'm sure in the future snapshots before release, these will have actual crafting recipes. And then we've got a new status effect as well. It's called Glow, and it's from the Spectral Arrow. So why don't we grab that first, and we'll give it a little try as construction begins above me. So I'm going to place a spider down here, and we'll go ahead and shoot at it using the Spectral Arrow. So the Spectral Arrow has a little purple tail effect you can see, and then the spider now might not be apparent while I'm looking directly at it, but if I move farther away, I'm actually going to be able to see it through walls and surfaces. So it's kind of like this outline X-ray effect sort of thing, where I can still see the outline of the spider, despite the fact that now I'm on the other side of this grass hill over here. So that's pretty cool. Allows you to track any of your wounded prey. So the spectral arrows don't do as much damage as regular arrows do, but it gives you this little advantage, I guess, that you're able to use. It does actually deal damage though, so if I shoot this dude enough, he will end up dying. So that was one thing. You may also notice when I draw back my bow and arrow now, over in my hotbar, it actually plays a little animation. So pay attention to the hotbar, and as I fire arrows here, it actually illustrates the pullback, which is just another nifty little feature. So why don't we grab another arrow out of here? Why don't we grab the invisibility arrow? So I assume when the crafting recipes are added, it'll be something like an arrow plus a potion, but who knows for sure. Hopefully you can do like a stack at a time. Anyway, if I shoot the spider with it, now you'll notice it actually used the spectral arrow. That's because it prioritizes things from the upper left to the bottom right, and then it also prioritizes your hotbar over that, and it also prioritizes, well, we'll get into the dual wielding slot in a couple seconds, but that too. So I'm going to switch the order here so that it's now prioritizing my potion of invisibility arrow, put another spider down, and now he's invisible. I'm not sure why I would want to do that, but if you ever feel like giving yourself more of a challenge by having to hit an invisible target, sure, I mean, you can do that, and he's gone now. So again, you can get any type of arrow based upon whatever potion you want. So say I wanted to inject myself with strength, for example, I can switch on over into survival, and go ahead, and because the strength arrow now is in my hotbar, it should prioritize that over either of the two arrows that are in my inventory. So I'm going to fire this up in the air, let it land on myself, and now I have a strength effect for 3 minutes. Nifty. So it harms me, but also does some good at the same time. I can do the same with like a regeneration arrow. I'm not sure why you would want to do this, but you can like, again, fire a regeneration arrow up in the air, and if I get it to land on me, now I have regeneration, even though I also hurt myself simultaneously. And you'll also notice over in the upper right-hand corner, you can now see what status effects you have on your screen without having to go into your inventory. So convenience, a nice little visual display up there so that you know what's going on instead of having to rely on the particles or going into your inventory. So that's that for the different types of arrows. Again, we can go through a demo of all of them, but again, I think you have the idea, except for, I don't know why, water bottle tipped arrow? I don't know what that does. It's kind of weird, but I don't know. It's a thing. So yeah, cool stuff. Let's go ahead and swap back into creative mode here. And now we'll move on to another exciting thing, which is dual wielding. So dual wielding is now something you can do. The main use for it is when you're, say, mining, and you want to use a torch and a pickaxe simultaneously. That's the pretty much the main use for it. So let's see how we get this initiated. So say I want to dual wield with a torch and a pickaxe. I'm going to hold the torch in my hand. I'm going to press F, and that's a shortcut key. So now my torch is added to my left hand dual wielding slot. So if I go into my actual inventory here, that's this slot over here on the left. If we go into survival, it's this here. It's like the shield looking slot. Shields haven't been implemented, but I think they're slated to be added in the next snapshot. Don't quote me on that, but I've seen some, screenshots of it. So that's our dual wielding slot right there. And that's also a place if you want to prioritize a certain type of arrow over anything else in your inventory, you can put that type of arrow in the dual wielding slot and that'll be prioritized in your bow. So here we go. We have a torch in one hand. Now I can just scroll to my second item. Hey, Mr. Skeleton. He looks a little different. We'll get to that momentarily. I'm going to go ahead and take him out really quickly. So dual wielding works best when you have one item in one hand that you're only using as left click and another item in the other hand that you're only using right click on. So torch pickaxe, for example. So let's start mining using our pickaxe with left click, and we're going to get chased by a skeleton and a spider here. Don't do it! No, don't do it! Don't do it! I'm going to dual wield and kill him. Oh gosh. All right, it's cool. It's cool. So we keep on mining, and then, oh no, it's getting dark. I'm gonna right click, put down a torch, and then I can keep on mining without having to actually swap. So pretty convenient, except that I only gave myself one torch because I'm smart. But if we switch back into creative, grab another torch, replace the cobblestone with it, we keep on mining, say we were, actually mining there. Here, put the torch back in my hotbar, or my dual wielding slot, keep mining, place the torch down, keep mining, right click to place a torch down, then, something that I think a lot of people have wanted for a very, very long time. So pretty cool stuff. Now you may be wondering, on the other hand, can I dual wield swords? Can I use a sword and a bow simultaneously? So unfortunately, you can't really do that. So let's put our pickaxe in our dual wielding slot for a moment. Now the problem is, if I try to left click now, it's going to prioritize the sword over the pickaxe, and if I right click, it's still going to block with the sword, so it doesn't really work that way. It really has to be one item in one slot is a left click item, the other item in the other slot is a right click item, otherwise it gets confused and doesn't really end up working all that well. So something to keep in mind. For example, like if I want to now dual wield with a bow, it doesn't do anything when I right click. So keep that in mind. But another really nifty feature that had pointed out to me while I was streaming is you can actually sort of have a mini map now. So watch this. I'm going to dual wield with the map, and I'm going to hold a sword, and watch this. So now I have like a little mini map in my left corner, while I can also still attack people with the sword, or I can still use the pickaxe. So that's just, I don't know, a cool little Easter egg, which thankfully someone pointed out to me in the stream. So dual wielding, that's now a thing. Most useful thing for it is, mining with torches in your hand. So pretty nifty stuff. And once again, slot right here. The shortcut for that is pressing F, but you can also just manually place something in it by dragging it there in your inventory. Dual wielding in a nutshell. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that out of there, and we will move on to the next feature, which is some sick beets, dude. So, all right, new type of food, beets. So we have beetroot seeds. I gave myself some bone meal so we can do that, and then a bowl so that we can make some beet soup. So let's put down some of the beetroot seeds right here, and then as usual, you can use bone meal to grow them, and this is what they look like when they're fully grown. They look like beets, and I'm gonna drop some sick beets as soon as I'm not in creative mode anymore. One sec. There we go. All right, so if I punch these, it drops beets and beetroot seeds. It doesn't guarantee you a seed drop every time. So it feels like it drops seeds less frequently than most other crops, but it is what it is. And now we can drop some sick beets. I had to do it. All right, so from here we can actually make, let me set it back into daytime, we can make some beet stew. So it's made kind of like a sign, but using a bowl and beetroot. So let's do this. And then we got some beetroot soup, and we can use that as some food as soon as I, exhaust my hunger a little bit. So while we're waiting for that to happen, just a little small minor tweak to point out, which is that now when you put down glass and bars without any supporting blocks around them, it just looks like a 2x2 little pillar thing with the iron bars and the glass panes. So not a big deal, but figured it was worth pointing out. Now let's eat some beet stew. Yeah, drop some beets down into my stomach, that is. All right, so next up, you've got grass paths. So with grass paths, this is I guess this was on Pocket Edition, but it hadn't been added to the PC version. So if you take a shovel and you right click on grass, it does consume some durability, but you're able to make this path, which is 1 pixel height below the standard surface level for grass or any other block. So kind of nifty. And so that's what I use to carve out this little path right here. So just a nice new aesthetic option if you want to carve out a path, or I guess it's good if you want to be able to sort of track your own movement, although, I don't know, sort of like breadcrumbs, though it can be a little bit tedious since you have to actually destroy the tall grass in order to do it. It doesn't go through the tall grass. But yeah, that's that. Grass paths, and you can get the grass path block by doing a middle mouse click on it. No, you can't. Never mind. Well, hold on. I'm in, you know, would be better if I was in creative. Yeah, if you do middle mouse, you can get the block, but I don't think it actually shows up if you search it in the creative menu. So it's hidden, but you can get it by giving it yourself or just middle mouse clicking there. So yeah, grass path block, nifty stuff. Next up, minor change. It's kind of useful for adventure maps and whatnot, which is that armor stands can now dual wield as well. So if you use a command block, you have to do a command block for this. You can spawn an armor stand that has arms, and then you can also use another command to summon it so that it's dual wielding, or you can use one command to summon it all. But yeah, just, you know, nifty for aesthetic purposes with adventure maps and that sort of stuff. All right, next up. So we've got some new stuff, most notably with skeletons, but also with zombies as well, which is that, so zombies can now dual wield, or they can carry things in their left hand. I guess it's just based on random chance with what you get. But here we go. We'll place down a skeleton, and you'll notice now, as you got a sneak preview earlier, that the skeleton kind of just chills with his bow at his side. And now, if we go ahead and we switch into survival mode, and he gets angry at us. So now we've got the skeleton actually has an animation. So when he's angry, he picks up the bow, and he actually charges the arrow back, so we can see when he's shooting. If we get close to him, we don't really feel like getting super close to him. So yeah, thanks Mr. Skeleton for shooting at us a whole bunch, and now that he dropped aggro, he goes back to just holding his bow at his side. So yeah, pretty nifty, and the aggro range on him is kind of long. He's still chasing us. All right, so there we go. The bow pullback animation isn't super significant unless you're pretty close up. But he is doing it, and if we wanted to risk our lives, then we could go check it out. But for the time being, I'm going to switch back into creative mode and be safe. All right, so zombies, on the other hand, I'm not sure if this will work if I just summon a bunch of zombies. Might have to be one that you find just out in the wild, or I'm not sure if I drop a sword at the feet of one of them, if it'll work. Here, take it. Take the sword, one of you. Well, regardless of whether or not I can get it to work right now, they can actually dual wield or hold things in their left hand because of the whole new dual wielding thing. So that is yet another thing to keep in mind. And then speaking of dual wielding, if you're weird and for some reason want to switch over to using everything with your left hand, there's now an option for that under skin customization. You can change the main hand to your left, which it just looks weird. I don't know, but I mean, whatever floats your boat if you want to use that. It's an option that's there for you. So, on that note, that's most of the stuff that there is to go over in the overworld. So, hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, a rating would be super duper very much appreciated. Maybe we could go for 15 likes, given the Snapshot 15W31A. And yeah, stay tuned. In the next videos, we'll go into the end and we'll check out all the stuff that there is to see there. But that'll do it for the overworld. So thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned once again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.